the kinds of conversations that happen in complexity studies, as well as the terminology, I think help to bring together a lot of my interests that would otherwise be quite divergent. So on one hand, I'm interested in literature, particularly the novel, and particularly the discourse in the novel and how it works, how meaning sort of gets going when the reader picks up a text and starts, sort of adding their own sort of interpretation to things. I'm also interested in science fiction, because I think there's something in science fiction that we call the novum, so that the novelty, that new thing, that way in which our own world is made a little bit strange with the introduction of a new technology or a new social force or an alien creature who has, looks differently. And then finally, I'm really interested in the social consequences and the way in which we can explore social and environmental issues through literature and through our understanding of culture. So part of what I think is interesting about this group and the conversations that we've been having is that it sort of adds a sort of layers of meaning and layer of cross-disciplinary interest, and we start to create a sort of terminology and start to agree on those terms. At the same time that I sort of have the feeling that what we've been doing in literary studies and in English has been complexity this whole time. Because we've talked a few times of late about how the human brain is one of the most complex phenomena that we've encountered. And in some ways, literature, the sort of linguistic utterance of a poem or a novel or a short story is sort of a letter from this complex human brain to the world. And so I love the idea of using complexity and complexity studies to understand what it is that literature is doing as we are making meaning with it, as we're interacting with the text. So.